Hello everyone! Thank you for joining Experimental Civics and our Design Thinking for Social Good series. This is Module 1, our introduction. We will discuss design thinking within the context of social good and the 6 tools that will be covered in later modules. So, you want to learn about design thinking and how you can use it to do good in the world. We know, it sounds epic when it's put like that, but the truth is, our course will help you think differently when approaching problems and creating solutions for them. For example, designing a chair is one endeavor, but designing seats in a bus that travels throughout a city during all hours of the day and night to pick up and drop off commuters, who include families with young children, high school students, senior citizens, night shift workers, and more, is another feat entirely. We are at a tipping point in our humanity where design needs to be as expansive and inclusive as possible. For designers and do-gooders, this is a welcoming challenge. Now, let's start learning design thinking. What is design thinking? According to Tim Brown, who is CEO of IDEO, an international design and consulting firm founded in Palo Alto, California, design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of people, the possibilities of technology, and the requirements of business success. Let's break that down a bit further. A human-centered approach means involving the human perspective in all steps of the problem-solving process. It seems weird that we hadn't used the human-centered approach to its fullest until a few decades ago. Now, we are starting with people. We always have to remember that when we're developing anything, a service, a product, a visual, and more, we are usually developing for people. People are intricate and complex, emotionally charged, and definitively unique. People also systematically make decisions that defy clear logic. In other words, people are irrational, as proven by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky in the 1970s. First and foremost, a human-centered approach calls for more empathy, intention, and thought. It also requires deeper understanding and diverse perspectives, which, when it comes to resources and time, are the catch-22. Next, Brown's definition includes innovation. Innovation has been defined in many different ways, and for our purpose, we'll stick with the notion that innovation is a process to be discovered towards the path of a breakthrough. Going one step further, social innovation is about the breakthroughs that we are making for humanity. We'll cover social innovation more in the next module. Brown's definition explains the benefits of design thinking. It hears the needs of people. It illuminates the possibilities of technology. We can even go as far as to say that the tools within design thinking help us to channel our human potential and, if we think in decades or even centuries down the road, how we reshape the world we live in. The last point in Brown's definition focuses on the requirements for business success. The message is very simple here. We're at a time again when people are striving for greater empathy, active listening, leadership, and more inclusivity. We know that subsequent generations are demanding these things, and they have every right to do so. So, what does this mean for business in the future? Survival. As you begin to develop new products, hire new and multiple generations of staff, and aim to grow and thrive, you will need the love and adoption of the people whom you are serving. Regardless of the sector you are in, non-profit, technology, government, the arts, and more, you can work on your business and improve the world at the same time. That's the gift of design thinking. There are so many complex layers where it is beneficial, and it would be a loss to not explore it as an option. So let's keep going. How do I become a design thinker? I have some surprising news for you. Are you ready? You already are one. Here's why. A design thinker is anyone who can begin to empathize and share ideas about how to improve an experience or a product. Now, while this particular skill takes compassion, practice, and heart, you can already examine the known pain points in your own life. You live in a community. You have your routine. Or maybe you don't. You know where the traffic gets bad in your neighborhood. You know which businesses are struggling to stay afloat. You know when a restaurant closes its doors. You might know how cramped airline seats get, especially on long flights. You might know how scary it is when the bike lane ends. The point is to start with yourself. Be inspired by the challenges that you face and ask yourself, how can I solve this problem constructively? This is essentially design thinking. Let's discuss two scenarios. You are launching a new product, a phone application. You try it out and realize within the first 5 minutes it is unhelpful. Perhaps it is missing a feature that would really increase its impact. Perhaps the visual design or button layout isn't intuitive. Perhaps you conduct a case study and learn that no one is using it as you had imagined. Instead, they are using it in wonderfully unexpected and innovative ways. Or you are responsible for managing a reception lounge. You want to implement better ways to get client feedback for your company. Instead of using only drop-in comment cards, maybe you introduce a giant board that showcases future improvements and asks your patrons to vote on the options. Now, these are just small tricks of the trade. The real juicy part of design thinking is when it evolves to touch every aspect of an organization. Its teams, its products, its services, its operations, its brand. The outcome is an enterprise living and breathing its mission, 365 days of the year, and weaving impact into their core. Organizations like LifeStraw and IBM are two awesome examples. The evolution of LifeStraw, a water filter, has been a remarkable journey. It started in 1994 when the Carter Center approached LifeStraw's parent company, Vestergaard, to develop a filter that could remove guinea worm larvae from the water that it was contaminating. Vestergaard designed a cloth filter, which evolved into a more effective pipe form in 1999. Today, more than 37 million LifeStraw guinea worm filters have contributed to the near eradication of the disease. And in 2005, the product LifeStraw was created to repurpose and continue harnessing ideas for the betterment of all. Thomas J. Watson Jr., who was IBM's CEO and chairman of the board from 1952 to 1971, said, "Above all, good design must primarily serve the people." Design is central to IBM. For instance, IBM created a global network of 45 studios worldwide known as IBM Studios, where business outcomes are achieved using design and IBM's enterprise design thinking principles. These examples give you an idea of how to start thinking like a designer and how companies have started to rise to the challenge. Why is play important in design thinking? Before we dive into the nitty-gritty details of our design thinking tools, we want to share how to purposely encourage play when planning and running events. Yes, play. What does that mean? While there are various definitions of play, play basically means to engage in activity for enjoyment and recreation, rather than a serious or practical purpose. We've all heard how your vocation and passions should intersect in life. You should do what you love. People love to play. Regardless of who you are, where you come from, whatever is happening in your life, the act of playing is a powerful release. We find ourselves here now, in the moment, in a flow state. We come up with new ideas and recombine them to create more new ideas. We even think differently. Carl Jung, founder of analytical psychology, said, "The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct." Keep this in mind when you engage with your design thinking tools. Build in play. For example, We wanted to inspire both young elementary and middle schoolers to think about specific topics and share their thoughts. So, our imagination workshop focused on ideating as well as the importance of telling others. To create awareness. Our message was clear. Ideas are like seeds, and we have to give them space to reach their potential and grow into flowers. We used flower-themed decorations. Everyone had to walk through flowers to enter the room. We gave away packets of seeds. We had blackboards, whiteboards, and colourful chalk and pens. Everyone stuck their post-it notes on the windows, displaying their ideas. Upbeat music filled the background. The atmosphere was electric and primed for play. The event was a success. We received positive feedback on how everyone, including parents, was given a space to share, discuss, and play around some of the toughest topics like challenges surrounding transportation, education, and their homes. We will go into more examples later in our series. Stay tuned. Why should design thinking be used for social good? Imagine. You work at a non-profit and the hours spent tabling are just not giving you the signatures that you need. Or you're not having the conversations that you want. Imagine. You are an educator who has limited resources, yet you want to encourage future generations to learn the skills that they will need to be mindful leaders. Imagine. You are a corporate entity who has not ventured into the social good space before, and you're ready to give it a try. You know that, ultimately, you have the resources and time to shape our collective future, and you want to do it right. We're shooting in the dark for who you might be and why you were drawn to our work. What we do know is, it is important for all of us to adopt fresh concepts like design thinking and use them for the good of humanity. Most of the people on the front lines today are using outdated methodologies to create change, and it would be a powerful pivot to employ design thinking tools to restructure their work. Experimental Civic CEO and founder Sarah Sharif always shares her story of being a former community organizer for clean air initiatives around Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, and realizing now how knowing then about new methodologies like design thinking would have improved her impact in the communities that she was serving. There are solutions out there, and we have to find them. From thinking to doing, why is execution so hard? So why do people have a difficult time implementing design thinking? Let's discuss reasons or barriers, then address how to tackle them at a deeper level. The first reason is often related to risk. It's a risk being vulnerable and sharing your ideas, or what you imagine, or your grievances about how things are now. It's tough to take all of these risks. There are many things that need to be in place for a space to feel safe enough for honest and productive dialogue. And that is where we see a majority of brainstorming sessions, especially around social good, take a step back. So we want to highlight vulnerability and how to use these tools. Experimental civics typically start a workshop using reflective exercises to raise awareness with people in the room of where they are before doing larger group exercises. Our facilitation also encourages building bonds quickly, so we play before diving into focused collaboration. There are more reasons, which we already mentioned. The space. When you think about the spaces in your life, where have you opened up? What did they look like? What did they feel like? Who was with you and what did it mean? We want to cultivate these spaces in a short amount of time, with sometimes, but not always, strangers. It's not an easy thing to do, and we do make it happen. That's the magic of practice, tweaking and adopting these methodologies. We will help you craft this in our series. What is covered in the series? The Design Thinking for Social Good series is about you. It's about opening the door to learning how you can use design thinking for your social good work. how you can collaborate in new ways, how you can encourage building stronger bonds amongst members quickly, and how, together, we can ultimately reshape our thinking to better ourselves. Look, we know it can be challenging to get from concepts to projects and to action. Whether it's for your day-to-day work or laying the foundation for your new social enterprise, we are here to help you understand how to incorporate design thinking into something more tangible for you. In this series, you will learn 6 tools that we selected specifically because of our success with them. They are team storytelling, affinity mapping, first glance, forces of change, Frankenstein test, criteria check. The 6 tools were designed to be completed together and in order. However, they can also be completed in any order or combination. The Design Thinking for Social Good series can benefit anybody: seasoned managers, first-time facilitators, and people who want to learn new ways of doing things. All you will need are open minds and, for some activities, basic office supplies. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We will see you in the other modules. Lastly, if you are interested in our Civic Hacking series or in the Experimental Civics blog, we invite you to check out our website, www.experimentalcivics.io, for a one-stop hub for all of these goodies.